Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Wehry History and Entertainment News of the Berkshires and beyond. As the summer starts, there are many activities to do. On this episode, I'm focusing on theater events, the reopening of a popular Pittsfield staple, and discussing an annual magical festival happening in Adams. Additionally, I'll be reviewing Marvel's latest film, Thunderbolts. First, it's time for this episode's trivia question. This episode's question is, what animal is most famous at Stanley Park in Westfield, Massachusetts? Now, for this episode's local headlines. First, we will be doing yet another theater preview in Berkshire County. This episode's preview takes us to the Great Barrington Public Theater for 2 shows. The first is Madame Mozart de la Crimzona. Constance Mozart, wife of the famous composer, struggles mightily in the wake of his too early death in 1791 to feed her children, to survive her own grief, and to secure her husband's astonishing musical legacy by completing his great unfinished work, the Requiem in D minor. With the odds and the whole of the patriarchy working against her, the perennially underestimated Constance Mozart digs deep to find a way to not only prevail, but to triumph. In the end, she's the last woman standing, smarter and braver than everyone else in her story. This play will premiere on July 10th and run through July 27th. The other show being produced is The Best Medicine. In this play, Rachel is a free spirit in a long-term marriage that in sickness and in health vow is a distant memory. But when her husband gets a progressive, incurable disease, she's thrust into the job she's least suited for. Self-sacrificing caregiver. In this hilarious and poignant one-woman play written by Robin Gerber, a stand-up comedy class becomes Rachel's salvation and a portal to transforming truth about life and love. This show will be going on July 31st through August 17th. For more information on all Great Barrington Public Theater events, visit the website shown here. Mass MOCA in North Adams is a very popular place to visit, but it can usually be a little bit on the expensive side. To solve this problem, Mass MOCA is offering a free day with Mass MOCA's Community Day. Celebrate the start of summer with free museum admission on June 21st, 2025 during Mass MOCA's Community Day. Enjoy museum tours, art making in Kidspace, author talks, and conversations with artists on exhibitions. While specifics have not yet been announced, it is sure to be a great time for families and kids of all ages. This will conclude Mass MOCA's 25th anniversary, dating back from last year. Mass MOCA's Community Day will be taking place on June 21st. It will be occurring from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit massmoca.org for more information. Up next, we will be going to Adams for the annual Berkshire Mountain Fairy Festival. This is an event I've talked about in the past. According to the website, thewhenlist.com, quote, "Join us as the Berkshire Mountain Fairy Festival celebrates the summer solstice. The veil shielding the fairy realm will fall away, revealing a family-oriented experience celebrating creativity, learning, and stewardship of the earth. Come in costume, help build the fairy village, decorate wings, and meet the Queen and Court. Our festival will be a day of storytelling, music, dance, artisans, creative activities, and tasty, delectable treats. A time and place for all ages," end quote. The Berkshire Mountain Fairy Festival will be taking place on Saturday, June 14th. It will be happening from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Bow Field in Adams. If you have any questions, you can visit the Fairy Festival's website shown here. For the next 3 stories, we will be looking into various events in the city of Pittsfield. The first of these stories takes us to Berkshire Theater Group for a stand-up show with comedian George Wallace. Comedy legend George Wallace is back and better than ever. Known for his razor-sharp wit, masterful storytelling, and side-splitting observational humor, Wallace has cemented his place as one of the most iconic entertainers in stand-up. With a career spanning decades, Wallace has headlined sold-out shows worldwide, earning the title the new Mr. Vegas after a record-breaking 10-year Las Vegas residency. From his early days writing for the Red Fox Show to becoming a household name, Wallace's ability to connect with audiences through smart, observational humor has made him one of the most respected figures in stand-up. Beyond the stage, Wallace has built an impressive career in film and television, appearing in Hacks, Atlanta, The Last Laugh, Freaky Friday 2, Scrubs, and fan favorite animated series like Bob's Burgers and Mike Tyson Mysteries. His countless late-night appearances on The Tonight Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Daily Show, and Comedian in Cars Getting Coffee showcase his enduring presence in a comedy world. With a career that continues to evolve, George Wallace remains one of the most funniest and beloved entertainers of our time. The show will be taking place on June 14th at 7:30 p.m. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit berkshirtheatergroup.org. Up next in Pittsfield, it's an event that happens every year. First Fridays, formerly referred to as Third Thursdays until recently, this event allows people to visit downtown Pittsfield in celebration of the many businesses and organizations that make Pittsfield a successful city. This year there is live music at Persip Park, Family Fun Zone and Makers Market on North Street, Dance Zone at Dunham Mall, live art at Palace Park and Arts Walk, and more. The first Friday was already held earlier this year. It took place on May 2nd. For the rest of 2025, the dates will be June 6th, August 1st, and September 5th. Note that there is no July First Friday schedule. This is because the first Friday in July falls on July 4th. So a First Friday would be irrelevant. All First Fridays take place from 5 to 8 p.m. Events change each month, so stay tuned to WWHEN for more information. Our final Pittsfield piece takes us to the Berkshire Carousel, where it is finally reopening to the public. Aside from carousel rides, the grand opening will feature games, food, and the unveiling of some renovations. For more than a decade, hundreds of volunteers hand-painted, hand-carved, and painted each element of the carousel. The horses and carriages feature images of people from the community, as well as areas and scenery from the county and other unique designs. The carousel, located at 50 Center Street in Pittsfield, has not operated since 2018, but was picked up by volunteers earlier this year. The carousel's reopening is currently planned for Saturday, June 14th. It will take place from 12 to 5 p.m. and will be open at the same times afterwards every Saturday and Sunday. For our next stop, we will be going to the Norman Rockwell Museum in Stockbridge for an exhibit about children's author Walter Wick and his I Spy series. Titled after his recent book, I Spy Walter Wick's Hidden Wonders will span 50 years of innovation, wonder, and imagination. Tracing the span of Wick's career, the exhibition is organized by themes that have long fascinated Wick, including miniature worlds, floor games, craft-built worlds, optical illusions, I Spy games, puzzle challenges, wonders of science, Connecticut woods, and curiosity shop. Wick's work combines artistry, technical innovation, and mind-bending puzzles. The whimsical world of Walter Wick has fascinated people of all ages since 1991, when his first children's book series, I Spy, found its way onto the bookshelves of millions of American households. The success of Wick's books has established him as one of the most celebrated photographic illustrators of all time. A Hartford, Connecticut native, Wick began his artistic career as a landscape photographer before falling in love with the technical aspects of studio photography. Wick aspired to master studio techniques, but also to represent such concepts as the perception of space and time in photographs, and experimented with mirrors, time exposures, photo composites, and other tricks to do so. This manipulation of processes and perceptions has led to a prolific career that has now, over 30 years after the release of I Spy, a book of picture riddles, resulted in the publication of more than 26 children's books. This exhibit will open on June 7th. For more information, visit the website shown here. For our next stop, we will be going to Westfield on a road trip to Stanley Park. This is a park similar to Look Park in Northampton, which I've mentioned in the past here on WWHEN. Stanley Park was founded by Frank Stanley Beveridge in 1949. Having traveled from Pembroke Shores near Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, Frank arrived at Mount Hemron School in Northfield, Massachusetts, with only a quarter, a dime, and one Canadian dollar bill. In 1949, Stanley put his money into land that would eventually become Stanley Park. Stanley Park consists of nearly 300 acres of trails, woods, picnic areas, recreational facilities, and gardens, which include the Rose and Flower Garden, Asian Garden, a rhododendron display garden, the Arboretum, Herb Garden, and Woodland Wildflower Garden. Additionally, there is also the Frank Stanley Beveridge Wildlife Sanctuary, the Carleon Tower, and a duck pond with a sea colonial era village that includes an orchard, mill and water wheel, an old town meeting house, covered bridge, carriage shed, blacksmith shop, and arched bridges, all with a backdrop of flowering azaleas. A popular event held there is the Stanley Walk Around the Park. According to the Stanley Park website, quote, "As we welcome the spring, we will once again be holding our Walk Around the Park. These walks will be held on Thursday mornings from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. These walking sessions are part of Stanley Park's health initiative to provide a beautiful environment in which to get some exercise, while meeting the staff and learning a little history about various sites around the park. All abilities are welcome, and the group ability level will determine the walk route. Possible routes will be within the main areas of the park and or the wildlife sanctuary. Walking shoes are recommended," end quote. Stanley Park is located at 400 Western Ave in Westfield. For more information, visit the website shown here or call 413-568-9312. Stanley Park also supplies the answer to this episode's trivia question. As a reminder, this episode's question was, what animal is most famous at the Stanley Park in Springfield? The answer is black squirrels. According to Stanley Park's website, quote, "A Westfield phenomenon since the late 1940s, the black squirrels now populate most areas of the city and have moved into surrounding communities. Because they are not indigenous to Western Massachusetts, more so in Canada, the presence of the squirrels has led to a rather large collection of stories and tall tales as to how they got there, when they got there, and most importantly, why they got there. The story is this. They were a gift to Frank Stanley Beveridge from former Stanley Home Products sales managers Hubert L. Worrell and Alva Elzerman. In 1948, Worrell and Elzerman brought the squirrels from Michigan to western Massachusetts, where they were to attend a conference here at Stanhorm Inc., or known at that time as Stanley Home Products. The squirrels found their new surroundings and their freedom to their liking, and were soon an established tenant of Westfield. Now, black squirrels are found to be over all of Pioneer Valley and are numerous, especially in the park, end quote. It's now time for this episode's movie portion of WWHEN. This episode, we'll be reviewing the latest Marvel movie to hit theaters, Thunderbolts. Naturally, because this is a Marvel movie, I'm going to avoid talking about the plot. Instead, I'll be heading straight into what I thought about the film. This is one of Marvel's best movies in a while. Not only does it contain great action scenes, good humor, and relatable heroes, most importantly, the story is easy to follow. Lately, Marvel movies have been constantly locking out fans by including characters who are in the streaming-only series. By keeping this to a minimum, Thunderbolts is great for both casual and die-hard Marvel fans. I had so much fun with this movie because I wasn't distracted by all the characters I wasn't familiar with. And it was just purely entertaining. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give Thunderbolts a 9. By the way, on the next episode, I'll be reviewing another Marvel movie. But this is the total opposite of Thunderbolts. That ends this episode of Wehry History and Entertainment News in the Berkshires and beyond. If you would like to watch this or any other WWHEN episode again, you can visit PCTV's website, shown here, or my YouTube page at RT Wehry. And I want to thank CTSB TV and NBCTC for showing my show on their public access station. Thank you.